Nebraska, you know, when I listen to it, I hear the question why. I hear confusion, a lot of anger, but also a longing for connection. I think, you know, it was born out of isolation, but ultimately, it's when I listen to it, I feel very understood. There's also a lot of empathy on the record. So I think yes, you know, the state of the world or the United States, it's a, you know, there's a lot of anger and confusion going on, but I also hear a lot of hope in the record.
Che effetto ti ha fatto, insomma, sapere subito che Springsteen abbia provato il progetto e poi l'abbia anche lodato?
It came to me. I felt very lucky. I remember I took a little bit of time to consider, just because, you know, there is so much pressure. He is such an iconic figure, and originally I didn't want to I don't know, risk interrupting his sort of fans or audience's relationship with him. And so Scott and I were talking about it for about a week, and then Scott shared with me, you know, Bruce really wants you to do this. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me that before? I won't stand in his way. And so I said yes, and he's been lovely, you know, throughout the process, very supportive, and yeah, since the film has come out, very supportive. I find in his performances, there's it's so physical. There's almost a violence to his performances on stage, and such a passion. But you know, in speaking to him, he's got such a gentleness, kindness, and real presence. So I think, you know, what stands out and what I've found very admirable throughout the process, making discoveries about Bruce as a young man, but also getting to know him as an older gentleman. You know, I've taken away and admire his bravery, absolutely. Bruce grew up in a world where, you know, his father was very unpredictable. I think that made it very difficult for him to trust what was around him. And I think a lot of what he's contending with, sort of in the period of this film, is a reaction, you know, to that youth being able to trust. And then I think also, because he's reached this sort of level of public notoriety or fame, that trust is even sort of harder to find. And I think we're also contending with him at this period where, you know, I think hopefully for many young people, they can look at their father's parents and put them up on a pedestal for, you know, hopefully a very long time. But at some point, you see a parent for what they are, which is a human. You see them for their faults. And hopefully you can be very accepting and understanding and empathetic of them at that period. And I think that's a real highlight of the film. It's a very beautiful version of America. Is that the complete truth or reality of America? No, of course not. I think it's very difficult to be entirely representative. For one person to be a representative of a nation, you know.
Vivendo le voci che arrivano dagli Stati Uniti a proposito di una candidatura all'Oscar.
That's all very nice, but no, I mean, similarly to the way that Bruce made, you know, his record of Nebraska, like. You know, I don't think you can be focused on the result of sort of anything that you do. Certainly anything that comes after, you know, making a film. You know, if we're lucky enough, any of us are lucky enough to get that sort of attention, I think that's a wonderful thing, because it'll bring more attention to the film, and more people will see the film. But yeah, no, I'm not in the results business. I think I was just happy to be on this journey with Scott, with Bruce, with John, with Jeremy.